There are some things in life that we cannot avoid. But there's one thing that our quote today challenges us to make certain that we avoid. We cannot avoid growing old, but we can avoid growing cold-hearted. Hi friends, I'm Pastor Josh, and I'm passionate about helping you take that next step spiritually. If these quotes are helpful to you, would you consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell? And that way the next time the quote comes out, you will be made aware of it so that together we can continue developing the mind of Christ. Here we are, beautiful mid-January. No snow on the ground here in Michigan, and yet it's cold. It's below 20 degrees, and it reminded me of this quote that I just listened to from a pastor. Pastor Michael Jones was preaching to his church family during the transition from 2018 to 2019. He challenged them to evaluate their hearts from this last year. Were they moving forward or were they moving backward? In fact, sometimes we talk about moving backward spiritually as being backslidden. He asked each of them to evaluate their hearts. He said, we cannot avoid growing old, but we can avoid growing cold-hearted. We'll see the days turn into weeks, which turn into months and then years, and all of a sudden we wonder, where has all the time gone? But as we continue to go through life, do you take time to evaluate your heart? When it comes to the things of God, would you say you're cold-hearted or that you're tender to the Lord? Today's quote reminds me of a passage in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. The psalmist is praying and asking God to search his heart, to know his heart. Now, earlier in the psalm, he already said, God, you know me. But here when he's asking God to search him, he says, God, would you search and show me all of the crevices and the deep areas in my heart? I don't want to be cold-hearted. He had times in his life where he was, but his desire was that he would have a right heart and God would lead him into the way everlasting. As you reflect upon your heart from this last year, as you reflect upon your heart, maybe already as you've entered 2019, would you ask God to search, to reveal that to you so that you can have God lead your heart unto holiness and unto righteousness? Sometimes we wonder where life has gone. The years have gone quickly, but how have we come spiritually? Will you let God direct your heart? Protect your heart with His Word from getting cold-hearted, and that you'd be willing to obey the areas that God teaches you this year? You've already taken a couple minutes today to pause and take time to refocus on the things of the Lord. Would you just take a couple more and ask God to reveal your heart to you? And that He would take any of those cold areas that you've allowed to just do your own things, and that He would mold you and direct you unto His way, the way everlasting. We cannot avoid growing old, but we can avoid growing cold-hearted. Thanks so much for taking a couple minutes out of your day just to pause and to reflect. If this has been helpful, would you consider sharing it with a friend so that together we can have the mind of Christ this year?